Hello everyone, today we are solving picking numbers problem on Hackerrank. In this problem, we have just one input. It's an array of integers like this, and we will try to find the subarray of it. Our criteria is the difference between any two elements of this subarray should be less or equal than 1. For example, if we get 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, it is not a valid subarray because 4 minus 2 is higher than 1. That's why we will try to find the subarrays which has elements difference is less or equal than 1. For example, here we have a subarray 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. The difference between 5 and 4, the maximum number, is 1. So this is a valid subarray, and we will try to get the maximum elements. In this case, we have two subarrays which meets our criteria, but the second subarray has more elements. So in this case, we will return the number of elements of our second subarray. To find out this subarray, we will compare each element with the rest of the array. For example, at the beginning we have 1, and for this first element we will compare it with all these elements of this subarray, and we will count the difference. If the difference is less or equal than 1, we will count it. And for each of them we will count, and we will return the maximum count number. To solve this problem, first of all, we should sort our array because in some cases our arrays can be unsorted. First of all, let's assume that we have an sorted array like this. We sorted our array. Now there will be our result. Result will be equal at the beginning, and for each element of our array we will iterate the elements here. We will use each with index, and each with index will give us one value for each iteration and its ID, the element's ID. And for each element we will compare it with the rest of the array. For this we will use a while loop like this. For this while loop we will count the number of elements. At the beginning it's 1 because we are comparing one element with the rest of it. So if we find an element which is difference is less or equal than 1, this means that there are two elements. So at the beginning our counter value will be equal to 1, and we can get ID plus 1 to count these elements, and as long as our I value is less than our array's size and our array's value minus our iteration element value, as long as this difference is less or equal than 1, we will increase our counter by 1 like this. And if our counter is higher than our result, we will check this counter and result for each iteration. If our counter is higher than our result, then this time our result will be equal to our counter. Let's fix this. Else our result will remain same, and after this check we will increase our I value by 1 like this, and at the end we will return our result. Here we compare our each value with the rest of the array elements, and if the difference between them is less or equal than 1, we increased our counter for each iteration. And for each iteration, if we find a value that is higher than our current result, we updated our result value, and at the end we returned our result value. Let's run it. We passed initial test cases. Now we can submit it. Yes, we submit and we passed all the test cases. That's all for picking numbers problem. And then see you on next challenge.